is going on, ladies and gentlemen, League of Legends fans, all my YouTube subscribers, and anybody who's just stopping by my channel to watch this video? This is Twigger coming at you with another High ELO commentary, this time focusing my attention onto Bigfatlp, the jungler for Team Counter Logic Gaming. Definitely one of the, I might actually refer to him as Bigfatlp because for those of you who have been around the League of Legends scene for a while, he was originally known as Bigfatlp with the J-I-J-I behind his name, and ended up changing his name to Bigfatlp. Still love him nonetheless, even with the name change. But another person in this game, Curse, is Voyboy, the top laner for Team Curse. Voyboy playing on that Elise, definitely somebody to watch out for in this game. But the title of this will be for Bigfatlp because I don't believe I've ever casted or commentated on a game for him, but I have certainly done Voyboy before. He is definitely not new to my channel. But Bigfatlp, huge fan of Bigfatlp and what he's done for Counter Logic Gaming since the huge roster change with Hotshot GG leaving the top lane for Nia and Tonso, and him going into the jungle. Big differences going on with, well, Chouster going back to support and making the double lift Chouster lane, but he always seems to play, well, I'm actually going to talk about it right now, what he's trying to do in the top lane, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of action in the bot lane with a good Zarya root landing, but nothing really going to come from this one. A little bit of poke going down from both teams, but nothing really coming out of it that's going to be too extravagant. But what Bigfatlp is known for doing in the LCS, especially in the North American LCS, he has been building like pure tank Nocturne and things like that. He tends to go very tanky junglers, even if they're not necessarily meant to be all that tanky. He builds very tanky so that way people will focus him. He likes to get all the attention from the enemy team and being really up in their face. And as we can see right there, being up in their face, the flash is already burned from Akali, and there's going to be first blood for Voyboy in the top lane. So definitely seeing the play and the cohesion going on between Bigfatlp and Voyboy, the LCS players. Definitely understanding a little bit of the subtle nuances that this game has to offer that maybe some people who are less experienced don't necessarily know. But and I certainly can't comment on it because I am definitely one of those few people who probably don't know all the subtle nuances in this game as much as I try to figure them out and try to better myself as a League player. But, you know, there are certainly a lot of things that come with playing this game as a job and playing this multiple times, countless hours per week, which sadly I just don't have the time to do. I really wish I did. But Voyboy taking a good chunk of damage here off of that Sejuani. But here comes Akali, and I think Voyboy's going to try to chase this one down for the kill. He might sacrifice his own life, but hopefully his repel will get him out of that one. But as we're talking about that, Bigfatlp going after this Orianna. She's going to try to take down this Zed, but the Ignite isn't going to be enough to kill him. I think it will be the last tick of that Ignite taking down that Zed, and it looks like Voyboy's still kind of running away from this one. He did pick off the Sejuani, which is definitely great news. He might actually be able to take down this Akali as well, but now he's running for his life because I believe his repel was already used. Don't know if Akali's going to make it back to kill him because she does not have Shadow Dash. She's not level 6, and she already used her Flash and her Ignite. And looks like Voyboy's just getting out of that one. He's just going to be away. So 2-0-0 with 22 CS for that Voyboy in the top lane. So very glad to see him doing well. But also 0-0-2 for Bigfatlp. So great start for this blue team. Unfortunately, they did lose that kill onto the Zed, but certainly not the end of the world. I find that Zed, with the numbers that he currently has, still does incredibly well. Even if he does tend to fall a little bit behind in the early game, because if he focuses, well, and just looking at the enemy team here, the only really tanky person is that Sejuani. You probably don't want to focus that Akali because she is just going to go into her Shroud, and you're not going to be able to follow up any of your damage for your ultimate if you're playing Zed. But look at Janna going really aggressive here, waiting for that Zed, and there's the ultimate going down onto Caitlyn. I think this is probably going to be enough damage. The ultimate and the Flash coming out, and here's Zarya taking a lot of damage. The shield coming out from Edward carry on the Janna. It managed to be enough to take down that Zarya. That's all he really needed, was to put on that shield and to take her down. Auto attack by auto attack, support against support. You know, support love, right? Kind of like bro love, but more supportive, if you get what I'm saying. Sometimes even I don't get what I'm saying, but you know. So Voyboy up here farming the lane again. Already has his Sork boots and a Doran's ring with a bunch of pots and that ward. He definitely has a lot of sustainability up in this top lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay up there for quite a decent amount of time, hopefully trying to pick up a couple kills on this Akali. And as I was talking about it, there it starts to happen. Akali having to drop her shroud and make sure that she's invisible to Voyboy. But with all that sustained, he's going to stay up there for a while, gain his CS lead, and then probably come back down when the blue team is aiming to go for a dragon or something like that, and he'll hopefully have the advantage over this top lane, because you can already see the poke coming out of that out of Elise. With that a little bit of magic pen, her Qs start hitting for so much damage. And if you combine those Qs in your human form and then followed by your spider form with a good repel or a good cocoon, it's an unreal amount of damage. And as we can see, Akali is already at half HP with nowhere near the amount of sustain that Elise is going to have. The Ignite actually going down onto Akali and taking a ton of minion damage. When that Shroud goes off, I think, there we go, Voyboy. Oh, wow! I don't even know how that happened. Sorry, guys, I have to rewind this one and see that fight in a little bit slower motion. This is just something I have to do. I can't believe the tower shot went off. So she comes out of Shroud, Voyboy gets that Q off, and he repels. And surprisingly, that's kind of weird. So I guess the tower managed to hit Voyboy in the repel. I guess maybe he wasn't quick enough on her. He was too close to the tower and got hit by that tower shot. Because Akali's Ignite is not up, so it's not like he got killed in the Ignite. But as I was talking about, that a very easy kill in the bot lane on that Caitlyn, but it was not the Ignite that killed him when he was up in the repel, so it must have been the turret shot, because Akali was dead. So, kind of interesting to see those kind of subtle nuances of the game where you still can die to things like the turret, even if you go up and repel. You just have to be incredibly quick about it. So, let's do a little quick recap of the CS here. 53 to 29 in that top lane. Voyboy doing a great job, even sitting 3-1-0 to the 1-2-0 of the Akali. Couldn't really complain about how that lane is going. 47 to 38 in favor of Bigfatlp, and also has those 3 assists to go. So the jungle game is really going for Bigfatlp now. He already has a giant spell, so he's going to be very, very difficult to kill. And look at the damage, already to half HP that Akali. Akali's going to try to jump in on this one, do as much damage as she can, but Voyboy's at pretty much full mana. But there's the Hex Drinker proccing. So she's not going to have that for the next time Voyboy wants to engage, and the repel has not yet been used. But there's a great cocoon, and there's going to be the kill. The Ignite even going down, but he started chugging a health pot very, very early, and that's going to be plenty. And the damage going down onto the Zyra now, it's just Zac and Janna. See Bigfatlp with those 3 assists, and now the 1 kill, doing a ton of damage. But now Sejuani taking a whole bunch of damage from the turret, and a great cocoon landing from Voyboy is going to seal the deal on that one. I don't really know what Sejuani was thinking on that one. Maybe just wanted to pick off the low health Voyboy, but you get caught by a cocoon like that in turret range, and Voyboy doesn't have to do a whole hell of a lot, just has to sit there and watch the turret completely smoke your jungler. And now Caitlyn being dove by Bigfatlp and Tristana. Janna putting a shield down and trying to help as much as she can. Bigfatlp going to have to clean this one up. He still does have his passive, I believe, so even if he does get taken out by this turret, which he's not even going to, he's too good for that. He would never get taken down by a turret, right? But Bigfatlp picking up that kill, 2-0-3 with 58 CS, doing very, very well in this game. I don't know if I've actually seen him in the LCS play Zac. Now, it has been a little while since it's been a week, I guess, so I can't really remember every single game that he's played. He might have very well played Zac previously, but he tends to go for those more tanky but still damaging junglers. Well, you know what, I say that, but then again, he plays Nocturne. And this has always been something that I've been thinking in the back of my head, but I can't talk about that right now because we have an engage going down in the top lane between Voyboy and Akali, and they're just going to back off. They don't really want anything to do with this. No, they're going to go back in because the Shroud is down, and Voyboy's just going to go right on in on this. He does have the red buff, but here comes Sejuani. But there's the flash, and going to be taken out by the Akali. Great timing for that Sejuani to be in the lane to pick that one off. But as I was saying previously with Bigfatlp, he tends to go for these tankier junglers, but he's been recently playing Nocturne in the jungle and building full tank. I mean full tank. No damage items, just pure tank. And it is incredible to watch because he does do a ton of damage absorption. He goes in there and everybody focuses him and he does not die. And he's pretty much made to be like a fear bot. and a little bit of AoE damage and more for that global presence, but you should see him taking out a red buff at the late stages of the game with no damage. It is hilarious. He needs help to take down those buffs if he doesn't have his smite available, because he just does no damage at all. He's just sitting there pounding away at the thing, and it doesn't die necessarily. So he is one for building those tank junglers, so he will not die, but he will be a freaking thorn in your side for the entire game. And now we have a little bit of an engagement going down onto this Caitlyn. The exhaust going down, and Zyra's a little bit out of position. Has to pop her ultimate, but not actually going to knock anybody up with it. The flash coming out of the Tristana, and the ultimate going down to take down Caitlyn. And now Bigfatlp comes in to knock up that Zyra and seal the deal on that kill as well. The true damage coming out from the Zyra passive, but going to be nowhere near enough to pick up that Tristana. Doing very, very well as well. Not really a whole lot of negative things going towards this blue team. It's just been good play after good play after good play, and each lane is doing very, very well. So, yeah, 5-2-0 for Voyboy in the top lane, 3-0-3 for Bigfatlp in the jungle, 2-1-0 for Zed in the mid lane, 1-0-6 for Janna, which is an incredible support score, 2-0-2 for that Tristana, which is incredible ADC score. But here we go, the engagement in the top lane. The Voyboy Repel is going to come out, but it sadly does not last anywhere near as long as the Akali Shroud, so him just being kind of sent up in the air and not really waving his hands around like he just doesn't care, because, well, he did care because he got killed. And I think he cared because he also wanted to try to kill that Akali, but sadly that was not the case. And yeah, Akali with her passive is just going to heal that damage back up, and also with the pots that she has. And the funny thing is that she didn't even have to burn her red pot, which she had sitting in her inventory. So it's one of those things too that Voyboy has tried to build a little bit more defense with that Negatron cloak. I don't know if he just built that recently. I think he had it in the last fight, but clearly that did not work against an Akali because she just pops that shroud, and if she times everything correctly, Voyboy shouldn't really be able to hit her with that burst combo multiple times. So Akali trying to get away from this Zed and Zac combo, but the charge was already being laid by that by that Zac. And now Voyboy is coming to the mid lane, the shockwave going down, but not really doing a whole lot of damage with that Negatron cloak. The cocoon coming and actually landing onto Orianna, but here comes Zizwani with once again a perfectly timed gank, but a great turret shot picking up the Orianna. But I don't know if Zed's going to have enough to clean this one up, but he did put his ultimate on her, so that will definitely be enough damage. So 2 for 1 in that mid lane. Voyboy picking up a great kill there, landing a great cocoon, and managing to do enough damage to pick them off, and Zed coming in at the exact right time to pick off that Sejuani. So once again, things kind of working out for that blue team. 16-5, 22.9k to 19k. Not much more you can really ask for at that point. Everybody seems to be doing very, very well. Voyboy dying, you know, 4/5 of the team's deaths is on Voyboy. So not exactly the reputation you want to have on your team, because he has died way more than everybody else. But also, he does have 6 kills, and he is doing very well, beating his lane opponent by 10 CS, and the top lane turret is down, so Voyboy's going to be able to roam around the map a little bit more and harass everybody, and he'll probably bring quite a bit to the team fights. Elise always seems to be that very bursty, destroy an enemy champion, and with somebody like that, especially with a Tristana on your team, that'll reset her rocket jump. So if Tristana and Elise can jump in on one person and kill them, and then Tristana can jump back out and Elise can repel, it's pretty much like an assassination squad where they'll just kind of like jump in, kill somebody, and then jump back out. And even with Zed's ultimate, right, you're just going to pick off somebody completely, and then everybody can just kind of back right out and reset the fight, and then fight 5v4 and really set the team fight up the way that you want it to be set up, 5v4, and have that kind of distinct advantage right at the beginning. And it looks like Zyra is taking a little bit of poke from this Tristana. One of the best things about Tristana is the range that she offers. And there you go, she's jumping in onto the Tristana, onto the Zyra, because the Zed was there. She picks up that kill, and it looks like Janna didn't even get an assist for that when it was over so quickly. And Bigfatlp picking up a kill up in the top lane as well. The Janna ultimate coming up to try to take down that Sejuani and stop her from chasing, but Tristana already went down. She's now chasing onto this Zed, and here comes Orianna with a great dissonance, and here's the ultimate from Caitlyn, going to be enough after that that little bit of damage and the dissonance that came out of the Orianna. So, you know, 1 for 2 in that bot lane. Zac did manage to take down the Akali in the top lane, so it was 2 for 2 technically, but as this is all being said, Voyboy's up in the top lane with nobody to challenge him, taking down that top lane turret. So they're doing the kind of standard trade of a turret for the dragon, but I always find it is worth it when you're taking a first tier turret for the dragon, because then it's pretty much even. Like, I don't really mind that trade, but you know, you lose a second tier turret for that dragon against somebody like Voyboy especially, that's you know, that's a little bit risky, I've got to say, because now Voyboy is very close to your inhibitor and the inhibitor turret. Well, the turret and the inhibitor, I guess the inhibitor should come first. Well, the inhibitor turret should come first, and then the inhibitor. What am I trying to say? I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to say. But I definitely swallowed my drink wrong, and very well might die. So check my will for who is going to take over this YouTube channel. Probably nobody nearly as exciting as I am, but you know, somebody fascinating, I guess. Maybe Voyboy. Maybe somebody in this game will take over my YouTube channel when I'm deceased. Hopefully YouTube will still be around 80 years from now when I do end up dying, because I do plan on living to past 100. That's my main goal in life. But as we're talking about that, Bigfatlp going to use his Let's Bounce to try to take down this Akali, but he definitely doesn't have enough damage to take down all 3 of these people. And here comes Voyboy for this little bit of damage coming in. A great flash from the Orianna and a great shockwave, but the passive going out from the Zac, and now Zed is here to support as well. Akali's going to try to take down Zac, and he does not manage to do it yet. The Shroud is still on, and Zac ends up surviving this one for a 3-for-0 exchange because of that Zac passive and the great plays from Voyboy and Zed coming to the aid of their fallen comrade. But turns out that he wasn't really fallen. He was just kind of waiting for the opportune moment to come back and surprise everybody. Hello, Zac, you gelatin Jesus Christ, you. That's how I'm now going to refer to Zac, the gelatin Jesus Christ, where he just resurrects after he dies. Just comes back as 4 little bloblets, and then, you know the rest of the story. He comes back and ends up killing the rest of your team. Because for one of the first times, he's actually built kind of a little bit more damage and sustainability. And it's something kind of new for Bigfatlp, where Zac is kind of one of those champions where building tanky is also building damage for him. On somebody like Nocturne, where I'm not going to talk about that because the ultimate going down on the Sejuani, I think this is going to be enough to kill. No, it's not. The Orianna shield being just enough. And Voyboy really tried. Oh, the Q coming out of that one. That's going to be plenty of damage. And now Zed and Voyboy going in on this Orianna. A great cocoon landing. And Orianna's going to try to run away from this one. The shockwave pulling Voyboy back in. But the double kill coming out for Voyboy. I don't know if he was under the turret for long enough. He was not under the turret for long enough. And Zyra going down from this Jan and Tristana combo. But here's the ultimate. Not going to be enough to kill that Tristana. I don't know if there was a Janna shield on that one or if it was just not enough damage. But pretty great plays in this bottom lane. And now Janna, I don't necessarily know what that was. I guess she wanted to try to set up the kill there, but yeah, she can also just, fire at you and kill you, because as much as the rest of the team has been losing, 4 deaths onto Caitlyn is not the worst thing in the world. She still does have her BF sword, her tier 2 boots, and the pickaxe, plus a vamp scepter. She's doing a lot of damage still, though not as much damage as the 4-1-2 Tristana, but she's kept up with minion farm, and she will still do damage to you, so you can't just walk into the line of fire from this Caitlyn, because she will still kill you, just not as quickly as the Tristana. So Bigfatlp caught in a little bit of a rock and a hard place. We're going to use his Let's Bounce and knock them both up, but the ultimate coming out of Sejuani not really lasting a whole lot of time onto that Zac. And this is a dominating from Bigfatlp, 6-0-6, and the jump coming down, but Zac's going to get the solo kill onto that Orianna. Looks like nobody else really touched her during that fight. And that's the thing now, is that Zac, with that Spirit Visage and those Sork Boots, doing a lot of damage with that Magic Pen, but also with the Spirit Visage, picking up those bloblets that you leave after every ability hitting, you're gaining a lot of health. So not only is he incredibly tanky, just because of his items like the Sunfire Cape and more armor from the Cloth Armor and the Magic Resist coming from the Spirit Visage, but he's doing a lot of damage too. And now all of a sudden Voyboy is going to probably take down this Akali, a great Q, just sealing the deal on that one. He has a great deal of magic resist, a ton of magic pen, and with that needlessly large rod, he has a lot of AP as well. And I think Akali has finally gotten to the point where Voyboy will beat her in a duel. And now Bigfatlp and Zed trying to take down this inhibitor, but they might have bit off a little bit more than they can chew. The Sejuani ultimate is down, so she's not going to be able to cast that one onto him. But if Zyra lands a good stun here, but the slow's coming down out of the Sejuani, the ultimate going down from the Zed trying to pick off this Caitlyn, it will probably be enough damage. It will be enough, but the Zyra ultimate coming down to shut down that Zed. And Bigfatlp doing his best to try to survive here, picking up all his blobbits, flashing away, managing to kill Sejuani and flash away. Unreal amounts of damage and tankiness coming out. And now it looks like Tristan is going to flash in for this kill, and there's a free kill onto GG. What was it, Jessica Jung? Jessica Jung. That was a great play from Bigfatlp, I've got to say, taking just enough damage. And now we have another duel into this top lane, and there's the shutdown. So one of those things about Akali that you can't seem to underestimate is that she will do a lot of damage whether you like it or not. And if she plays it correctly, that's why she's considered such a dangerous late game champion. That, you know, if you can play Akali appropriately and time everything correctly, time your shroud appropriately so that way you don't get bursted down, the damage she can do is pretty unmatched for top laners, I have to say. She's one of the few real burst assassins that you can pull off in the top lane, and Voyboy is definitely not a stranger to playing Akali. If any of you guys know, he used to be, I would argue, one of the best Akali players in the world, but it looks like we're not really going to see any more of this game because the 23-30 minute mark came, and even after winning a fight in the top lane, it looks like the red team just wanted to surrender on that one. I figured that they were too far behind to really come back on this one. So an incredible game. You don't really get to see in this Diamond League kill scores like 30 and 10. Voyboy had 10 kills in this game. It was pretty impressive to watch. And Bigfatlp, unkillable, 706 with 129 CS in the jungle. Pretty great game. So I really enjoyed watching this game. I really enjoyed casting it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it, and definitely check out the League Champion Series in North America, because you'll see both Voyboy and Bigfatlp playing for their respective teams, Team Curse and Counter Logic Gaming. Incredible players to watch, and as you can see, wrecking the solo queue with their play. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next commentary. Peace.